friends, welcome back to another children's sermon. My name is Becca. For those of you who are new here, thanks for coming. And for those of you who are joining us again, it is good to be with you again. Okay, so today's children's sermon comes from the Gospel of John. So I'm sure you remember, but if you don't, John is one of the 4 Gospels and it is in the New Testament. So it goes Matthew, and then Mark, and then Luke, and then John. So John's right before Acts. Okay, so today our story reminds me a lot of the zoo, or even maybe going to the movie theater. Have you ever gone to the zoo? I've been, and I have such a great time because I love animals. I love animal facts. I love learning about different animals. I love to watch animals on the zoo cameras. I love it. So when I get to go to the zoo, I have such a good time. I love to see all of the animals. My favorites to visit are the giraffes because they have blue tongues, and I think it is so cool the way that they eat their food, and you can see their blue tongue every time. I also really love the flamingos because they stand on one leg. Anyways, so when I leave the zoo after a full day of visiting, a full day of feeding animals, a full day of seeing all my favorite things and learning about all new kinds of creatures, I am exhausted. Are you exhausted after you go to the zoo? I remember when I was young, I used to fall asleep in the car. Well, do you ever leave the zoo thinking, I can't wait to come back tomorrow? Because I do. I love the zoo. I leave and can't wait to think about what it's going to be like next time. Or sometimes I think about movie theaters, right? You go and you see a movie that you love so much and you just can't wait to see it again. It reminds me of today's gospel, how much we love to adventure and we want to do it again. Because last week, if you remember, Jesus fed a ton of people. The multitudes is what it was called. And those people were fed off of 5 fish and 2 loaves of bread, which is amazing. It's a miracle, right? It's only something Jesus could do is to feed 5,000 people with that small amount. But then this week's story, they go back for more food. They go back to find Jesus for more food, kind of like the way we feel about wanting to go to the zoo a second day in a row. And now you might think Jesus was excited about this, and I think he probably was, because Jesus wanted people to visit him. Jesus wanted to make new friends and meet new people and tell stories about God and teach people how we're to love our neighbors. But he also told those people a sentence or a statement that I'm going to tell to you. And it is, when you visit me for a day, you only get a meal. Just think about what would happen if you invited me every day. You invited me every day into your lives. Jesus wants us to receive the best gift God has to offer every day. But lots of those things can't be learned by being with Jesus or eating one meal with Jesus. So when they go back for another meal and they get to spend more time with Jesus, they get to learn more about Jesus and learn more about the best gift that God has to offer. Which is why Jesus is reminding and encouraging the people in today's story to invite them into their lives every day, all the time. Because when we invite Jesus into our lives and encouraging people in today's story to invite them into their lives, we learn about the best thing that God has to offer. And we receive those gifts God has to offer too. And then we get to share them with other people. So this story is special because, like going to the zoo over and over and over again, and we get to learn new things and see special animals or different animals, that's the same thing when we get to invite Jesus into our lives. When we read our Bible, we can read a different story every day, and we can learn more about the best gift that God has to offer, which is Jesus. And then it's like when you learn a new fact, you want to share it with somebody. Learning about Jesus is a way that we are going to want to share that with others, which is really special. And so we're thankful that God teaches us every day and teaches us how to receive God's gifts and love and share it with others. All right, friends, if you want to read our gospel story this week, it comes from John chapter 6, verses 24 through 35. Till next time, see ya.